According to the Buddha, the 5 skandhas are empty. Forms, sensations, perceptions, volitions or mental formations, and consciousness. Yesterday we talked about sensations, and today we will talk about perception. The example or analogy that the Buddha talked about today is not bad. It's clearer. If there is a person speaks of sour plums, their mouth waters. When they imagine standing on a sheer cliff, their feet cringe. The skandha of perception operates in this way. Ananda, this sourness does not come from the palms themselves, nor does it enter through the mouth. Tell me, Ananda, if it arose from the plums, then the plums themselves should produce it. Why would they need someone to speak of them? If it came from the mouth, why then the mouth alone should perceive it? Why would the ears be necessary? If only the ears heard the words, then why doesn't the saliva flow from the ears instead? The same logics apply to imagining a cliff. Then you must understand that the skandha of perception is fundamentally illusory, neither dependent arising nor self-arising. So perception is also illusory. It's also delusion. This Chinese word also means thinking. This analogy is good. When we talk about sour plums, our mouths water. We just talk about it. When you see the sour plums, naturally your mouth waters. This is a good analogy. Because when you have it in your mouth, then you would salivate. But when you don't put it in your mouth, but you just look or hear it, and still your mouth would water. So, like Master Changzi. So, when you just say durian, Master Changzi would salivate because he loves that. Immediately, you could hear the sound of the saliva in his mouth. You have not even eaten the durian or the sour plum. So where does your saliva come from? You just hear someone say that. Then why doesn't the water come from the ears? Why is it from the mouth? Therefore, it is false, illusory. This is a simple analogy. You don't even taste the sour plums or the durian, but you're salivating already. So it's from thinking about it. Those are all illusory because you didn't even eat it. And he talked about the cliff. Let me give you an example. I'm afraid of height. The high-rise buildings, the glasses, the windows, they have a business to clean the windows of those high-rises. And that's very, very high. Skyscrapers. If you fall, then you would break into pieces. There would be delivering sentient beings even when your body breaks into pieces. When you stand on the side of a steep cliff, then your feet would be numb and trembling. You don't even dare to look. I had a high school classmate called Gu Yide who lived in Fengshan, Pu, and he took me to his house, and there's a scenic place. Let's go there. like a village in Fengshan long ago. So I walked together with him, and there was a very big and deep ditch, and at the center there this narrow block. It's probably as long as this Homaho and very deep water underneath. And this is like a block of wood. And my classmate intentionally should walking on the block and to the other side. And when I saw that, oh no. You're scaring me? And to walk on it, and it's very deep and water underneath it. And my feet was numb, were numb. And he stood like at the door of the Homaho and called me, Sengyendu, come over. I was scared. And he said, oh, we played around here and we just ran over it. Back and forth, we are not afraid. But I said, no, not me. I don't dare. And the block of wood is only this narrow, but there are no handrails on the side. So if had there been any handrails, then I would dare to walk on it. I know that it will not break, but without the handrails, I don't dare. And I said, no, I don't want to. So why are you afraid? Why are you so afraid? That's because of the skandha of perception. Because this is a shortcut and faster, only this narrow. Otherwise, you have to go around. And my friend said, usually it's like on a flat ground. You can just walk very straight on that narrow area all the way to lit the Homa fire. But if underneath it is very deep, I walk very slowly. The guiding referent was walking in the front and I was at the back. But if underneath it's deep ditch, would you dare? Actually, you can still walk straight. You would not have any problem, but you wouldn't dare to walk on it if there's a ditch underneath. But on the flat ground, you can do it. So that's because of the skandha of perception or mental formation, actually. But my classmates, because they always played around it, over it all the time, they ran around, they ran on it back and forth a lot, and nobody ever fell. So they got used to it, but not for me. For us, we are scared. We don't dare to walk on it. But the fear was created by our own thoughts. So actually, there's no problem walking on it, or you can even run on it. The same thing on the side of the cliff. One time we went to Mexico. We rode horses, and the horse was trotting on the side of the cliff all the way to the waterfall. And two of them on the horses. The horses are used to trotting on the cliff, on the side of the cliff, and they're not afraid. But the people on the horses are very scared. So it's a very narrow path, and then cliffs on one side, and then a rock wall on the other side. Oh no. When they got to the waterfall, they told the tour leader, we don't want to get back on the horse. Is there a helicopter? I can pay for it. Please ask helicopter to take us down there, because on the way up they were already faint and scared. And two women from New York and North Carolina, they said, "Oh, we don't want to go back on it. What can we do?" So to go back down from the waterfall to the ground on the horseback. And sometimes the horse would skip as stepping on the rocks on the path. That's quite scary, quite shocking. And a cliff on one side and a rock wall on the other side, and just coming down like this. And the horse step, and then sometimes would skip a little bit, slide it. So those two women said, "Oh, please, please." And the tour guide had no other way and said, "So you sit in the front and I sit at the back, and I would hug you very tightly." And then ask another person to accompany another woman. There is no helicopter. How can it be? They didn't dare to go back down. That's the skandha of perception, or saṃjñā. So when you stand on a flat ground, you don't feel that. You don't feel the fear or the cringe. But on the cliff, you would feel the cringe, especially when you're afraid of height. As for myself too, because sometimes the horses would step on loose rocks and kind of skip a little bit. So we held on the renders very tightly. What do you call that? The rind of the horse. So that's why the skandha of perception or mental formations are also illusory. So this piece, although you do not put the sour plums into your mouth already waters. So Ananda, so you hear the word plums or sour plums, or when you see the sour plums, why the water does not come out from the eyes. When you hear the sour plums, why the water does not come out from the ears. These are all mental formation, and they are all illusory and false. So when your feet are at the edge of a cliff, it's the same. Why? Your feet would cringe or tremble, and you would be scared. So you should know that the skandha of saṃjñā or perception is illusory, neither dependent arising nor self-arising.